And we're in. We're going to talk about one of our...
Welcome to Dumb Questions Only. I'm your dumb host.
Yeah, I'm calling it One Good Question. Mike's calling it Dumb Questions Only. It's
only because people say there's no such thing as a dumb question.
Yeah. This is the Friday show. Alternating right now with Topic Thunder. We're on a break with Topic Thunder. We'll be back with that one. That's a panel show in which we do something similar, but right now we're trying to give an actual answer.
Yeah.
I think Topic Thunder, we just like to have fun with the topic. So
yeah, I don't often think in general, but on Topic Thunder, I'm definitely not thinking. There's no filter.
Yeah.
Between the thoughts and the mouth, and then now there's like one filter.
Right.
And then on a regular episode, there's probably like 1.5 filters.
Yeah. Something like that. I try to say things occasionally that are somewhat fact based.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I try, but something I say is fact based.
There you go.
But I don't try.
50%. So we try to stay on brand with 50%.
Brand new website.
Yes,
for the podcast.
50percentfacts.com, where 50 is numbers.
All right, so 50% spelt out. Facts.com. Go there, find the Discord, click on that, join, we're chatting out, and we also have the link to these questions. So you can enter your question. You have a chance to win if we choose your question. We need your dumbest. Just kidding. Give us a good question. If we use it on an episode, you'll get a gift from 3SB, from Jim and I, and you'll be featured on a Friday show.
Yep.
And on the Discord, we're chatting, community building. We got exclusives for apparel coming down the road. First look at apparel. If you throw your lifts in there and stuff, we can chat about it. Everyone's just hanging out.
Yep. Yeah, and hey, here's the thing. We don't have to be there for you guys to talk to each other. That's
kind of the goal.
Yeah, is that you guys get to know each other, and we'll be in there often. If you direct something at us, we'll definitely respond. Sometimes we'll sit in there, and sometimes we won't.
Well,
sometimes you got to get our attention.
The best thing about it all, and I've actually found it on like Twitch, because Twitch is probably the easiest place to build community, in my opinion, because you're hanging out for 8 hours. Like, how do you not? Is that no matter like what your background is, what you're into, like very least there's like an anchor in fitness and this show.
Right.
So like if you're in Discord, chances are there's some commonality there that you can find that you can't find in your everyday.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you go to a family barbecue or something, everyone's asking you about macros and shit because you're the only person like into what you're into, and you feel alienated. In this Discord, everyone knows what a macro is. Yeah. Everyone knows what a deadlift is, right? Like, so right. It is kind of like this bubble of at least one anchor of commonality. So yeah, continue to build that, continue to hang out, and hopefully get more cool questions from you guys.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the possibilities around the early bulletin board systems.
100%.
Like, you know, T-Mag, Testosterone Nation, whatever.
Even bodybuild.com. I see that pop up all the time. Lane posted something today. I forgot his name. I've met him too. Claire? I don't know. He was Mr. Olympia, I think 212, the lower weight Mr. Olympia last year. And I met him years ago. But Lane posted a picture with him. I was like, yeah, dude, remember chatting on fucking bodybuild.com in like 2009. I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, so our question today is from DXCKSON66.
DX.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. I was trying to visualize it because sometimes when I'm like, if
I have no additional information.
No, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool about Discord too. Is it's like the level of communication or like intimacy, for lack of a better word, is like Facebook, but you can still have some anonymous to you. You know, throw a fucking John Hack avatar or whatever. You know, like it doesn't got to be your face. Like you can still be kind of chilling,
right?
Or your fucking favorite Pokemon,
for sure.
Where like Facebook, you know what I mean? Or like even Instagram is a little weird sometimes.
Yeah,
because like you talk shit to me, I'm gonna click on your profile and realize that you're a dipshit. I'm gonna see you with your, you know,
right,
your whole life. On here, you can kind of chill and be a little bit. Don't be an asshole. You're gonna get booted, but
yeah, don't be an asshole.
But you can. You don't have to be so exposed.
A little bit like Reddit, I suppose you could do a throwaway if you need to ask a question and you didn't want to connect back to yourself.
Yeah,
you know, just be careful with your language so that you don't give yourself away.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Okay, so here's the question: why do professional athletes pick gimmicky strength and conditioning coaches?
Great question.
And I'm not going to give the example that's here, but if you get into the Discord, you can find out what the example is.
Yeah, and this is probably like the number one, and he's on Instagram and blowing up. I think so. Two things right off the top of my head. One, I would go back and listen to, and this is shouting our own shit out, but we did an episode with maybe Omar, but for sure Eric Helms, on how to choose like a coach or how to spot a gimmick, I believe was the title of the show. And Eric's just one of my favorite guys to hang out with, but also one of the smartest in the industry because he just always, probably because he went to school a lot. Not only is he smart, but how he breaks things down is always like boom, boom, bing.
Yeah.
And he does like a boom, boom, bing on how you spot a gimmick. And all of it, once you hear it, you kind of internally know, but you don't think about it.
I may have to republish that one. That might be a good way.
Disappear? Yeah, we need it.
Yeah, because we're limited by both Apple and everything else.
Yeah,
so
throw it on Facebook or YouTube maybe.
Yeah,
and hold it, and then we'll lead it in the Discord or something because it's such a good episode. Every episode, I obviously have a lot of fun chatting with, but Eric's so good. And so those rules on how to find a gimmick apply to how to find a gimmicky coach. Mm-hmm. And to me, I think it's very complicated because like athletes. High level athletes, even lower level athletes, high school, college, whatever, they're not strength and conditioning specialists.
No.
So they can't spot a gimmick.
Yeah.
All they can spot is who they're comfortable with and a little bit of trust. And you could be having them do the dumbest exercises, but if they have trust and a little bit of confidence in you, and then the opposite to that is, does it really matter? That's like the bigger.
I just shot my Sharpie across the room trying to
I think
emphasize that point.
And I'm a strength and conditioning guy. Trust me, I want people to train smart and best because, the truth is it is a great foundation for every sport when you're starting to get a little bit stronger. But the placebo, nocebo in just believing that your training's fucking dope can go a very long way. And a lot of injuries happen on impact, they happen on accidents, they happen on things that regardless if you had the hypothetical perfect training program wouldn't prevent. Maybe it's not as big of a deal. And trust me, if you follow me on TikTok, all I do is rip these gimmicky coaches. That's literally my new content on TikTok because that's the only thing that does well on that stupid platform is talking shit. So I talk shit on all these coaches, and we have for a long time. We've done it with other coaches talking about booty bands growing your ass versus just fucking deadlift if you want to grow your ass. It's still a thing everywhere, but I think it's similar to like finding a manager or finding like kind of your posse as you come up in any industry, and then once you get a lot of money in the league, you probably just hire like a homie, or you probably hire your point guard's strength and conditioning coach because he trusts him, or a lot of it's just like word of mouth type of stuff. Although that, I know this is a long-winded answer, although that is starting to become less popular, I think, which is good. Mm-hmm. We have guys that are science-based, Andy Galpin, Dr. Ramsey, listen to the last episode about how I feel about doctors, our boy Ramsey, and a lot of highly educated coaches that are not only academically educated, but have the application and experience to train high-level athletes. Even Jordan Shallow, Muscle Doc. There's a lot of guys that have the good mix of the academia and the application, where I think most people, when they say gimmicky coach, probably just mean like a bro sciencey coach, a guy that is jacked or can jump really high, and all of a sudden, if you pull a sled backwards, that you're gonna dunk a basketball. Okay. And that's just like not the case.
Yeah,
like that guy is springy and he walked backwards, and building your quads will make you jump higher, but not everyone's gonna dunk a basketball that pulls a sled backwards.
No, not. I would say that our good friend Jacob Ross.
Jacob's another great example.
He has actually worked with high-level athletes.
He has his master's, I believe.
He has a master's degree. He was like on the way to getting a PhD, and he got a job. Outstanding, doesn't deal with gimmicks, whatever.
Yep.
Even he would tell you that you have to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
You get somebody like
Ramsey. I think when we interviewed him, we kind of talked about stuff like that too.
We talk our friend Amadeo Novella, who works with
Amadeo's really good too.
Team Alpha Male. He says, keep it interesting, make it applicable.
Yeah.
Don't get them hurt.
Yeah.
And don't kill them. Don't tire them out in some way that is going to impact their performance.
Yeah, a lot of it does, and it's like the good part and the bad part. A lot of it is like personal relations. So like if your certain athletes having a down week, or they just lost a game, or something's going on, and they like training arms. Yeah, maybe you're doing an arm day. Is that going to help him dunk a ball or play longer? No, but it'll kind of get his spirits up. He turns his best music on. He hits a little bicep pump. He feels a little bit better about himself, and maybe that 1%. That 1 hour you got with him that day, half an hour you got with him that day, if he's a pro athlete, you could build him up a little bit. I think I agree 100% with those guys and Jim, but like it's not always X and O's what's right, because we're dealing with humans.
Right.
They're not robots. They have emotions. They have good days. They have bad days, and there's a lot more to take into account when you're dealing with elite athletes, because of fatigue and game schedule and sleep schedule and travel schedule when you're talking about professionals especially. So there's a lot of things mixed in there that you have to deal with. So you can't just optimally squat every single day. And it goes back to like LeBron James doing like a quarter squat like 3 years ago and just absolutely getting blasted by the powerlifting community. But the powerlifting community just doesn't know. Yeah. Like, you can be very strong in powerlifting and not have a fucking clue on how to coach an athlete or how to coach a powerlifter.
Yeah.
That was one of my TikTok rants today. Some CSCS kid, I hate it. I say kid, he's probably my age. He fucking says, like, you want to grow glutes? And then this dude turns around and shows his ass, like, follow me, duh. Like, here's my proof. I'm like, that's 1980s logic. Like, the biggest dude in the room's the best coach in the room.
Yeah.
Now, I think
Doesn't work like that.
I think if you're a coach, you should kind of talk the walk and walk the talk. You should live the lifestyle you believe in. I don't think you should be 800 pounds and obese and not be able to move a barbell if you're trying to be a strength and conditioning coach. But counter to that, I think you'd be the best coach in the world and not be the strongest guy in the world by far. And often case it is the truth. There's a reason guys like Larry Bird and Michael Jordan haven't had a great coaching career.
Yeah.
Some things came easier to them that they didn't have to figure out.
That's one of the things we're flashing back to our just previous episode, that the aura around Larry Bird is that he had to work hard, and that the aura around Magic Johnson is he was just super gifted. Yeah.
Where Larry was a freak.
Yeah.
That's still a thing now people talk about. Like, Larry's so fundamental. Larry was a freak. He moved really well, and he's 6'8".
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
Like, now there's LeBron James and Kevin Durant and all these guys are like, whoa, dude, they're 6'10", and they move like they're 6 foot. But, like, Magic and Larry moved like fucking freaks. It's just Larry had some back issues kind of early in his career that made him not as, like, quote-unquote athletic. But
maybe he needed a different trainer.
Yeah, he was probably doing Bosu balls.
Or a trainer, period.
Maybe he just needed a backwards sled walk, and the motherfucker would have had a 20-year career.
Yeah. A couple other people that I've met in person and have seen sort of what their methodology is that I could say probably are just fine and probably keep it interesting. Ben Bruno.
Yeah. Ben's got a lot of fucking top-level athletes, and it's for a reason.
And Gunnar Peterson.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of Gunnar stuff, to be honest, but, like, the truth is there's always a mix, and it is, like, again, I don't want to say it's all placebo, because strength and conditioning really can have a lasting effect on your career and your longevity and your durability as an athlete, but so much of it is that you're getting some kind of work in, and that you're enjoying it and you're in a good mood.
Both of those guys, unlike anybody else that we really talked about, have dealt with a lot of celebrities as well, and some of what you're getting is their personality.
Yeah.
Ben is like, he's a good guy who is on the surface very disagreeable, and so he's kind of constantly, like, if you see some of the stuff he does with Chelsea Handler, but that's kind of just his personality, and so people do things for him to sort of but
like a celebrity and a pro athlete, which I think is where you're heading, is like, it is a very similar, because lifting weights isn't their job.
Right.
A celebrity needs to be funny and probably look good to get this next TV gig, and a basketball player needs to be good at fucking basketball.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have to treat the gym and them like it's not their job.
Right.
If you're dealing with a power lifter and that dude's going to sleep and waking up thinking about his deadlift session, you can probably deal with him a little bit differently and program for him a little differently.
And the Gunner has a gym full of toys.
Yeah.
So he can keep things interesting, and he is when you see him work with somebody, he's very challenging, but he's also very supportive at the same time. I think that's both of those guys.
Yeah.
I just started listening to this podcast. I was originally exposed to this particular person through Michael Lewis's podcast. Michael Lewis wrote Moneyball.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a podcast it's called Against the Rules. It's basically about how breaking the rules sometimes actually works out in your favor, and, whatever.
Yeah.
He did a whole season on coaching, and one of the things he did was bring in a vocal coach to try to improve his singing, try to see if it was possible through coaching to improve his singing. That guy now has his own podcast because Michael
The
Lewis.
singing coach?
Yes. And like episode 1 is Ariana Grande. And
shit.
like episode 4 is John Legend or
Yeah.
whatever. And all of these people are his clients. And the thing that they come back to is like, I never thought about my voice as an instrument before. I never thought about the warm-ups I needed to do. I never considered all the other things, sleep and nutrition and all that stuff that's important, whatever. Does this sound familiar? And then they say he's like their vocal life coach.
Yeah.
Because he's there supporting their stuff and because he spends so much time with them, he knows what causes them to have bad performances. And then, and so I don't think you get that from a gimmicky strength coach, but I think you think you're going to, because of the way they present themselves.
Yeah, you might, right? Like they might like tell you the wrong things, but they might have like good structure about them. It's hard, it's so hard to say because the point of like broad stroke and gimmicky is like they all have their own ways. I guess you know what I mean. Like so, like and it's like a spectrum of gimmick.
Yeah,
like some people might just really believe in green supplements, and I would call that gimmicky. Not that a green supplement's bad or good, but like if that's like your keystone of your training program, or like some people might really believe in a Bosu ball, and then some people might just be absolute trash witch doctors, right? So like it's a varying degree of that, or some people might not read much evidence-based nutrition or evidence-based training, and so they might just be a little bit old school. They're only doing 3 sets of 10 on everything. And so the spectrum of, I think what we both agree on is like some of those coaches might be fine. If you only do 3 sets of 10 on everything, it's not the worst thing.
No.
It's probably not optimal for like a strength or like a physical athlete, but like you're not killing them. But if you're doing one hand upside down, Bosu ball, handstand, whatevers.
And you get your athlete injured, that's bad.
Yeah, or even at a risk of it. Yeah, yes. And now you're like, all right, now we're on the other spectrum of gimmicky. So generally speaking, it's hard to say. But I think mostly we covered why they choose it. It's a homie hookup type of deal. It's a I trust this guy type of deal, or it's like, oh, I see this guy popular on Instagram. I've heard that from multiple like acquaintances, like, oh, I got a big Instagram following, and then they just asked me to coach them. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. And it's the snake salesy. Like that's why I claim like I've never really trained anybody of that level. Like I tried to make a little move at Reebok, because what happened back in the day is Reebok would sign coaches, and then they would sign, celebrities to wear sneakers like every other company does. And then sometimes in that contract, some of the celebrities would want a trainer, and they would try to pair them up. So I made a move to try to coach. I forgot even who it was at the time. But I made a move to try to like coach somebody. And like that's how it happens.
Yeah, don't say you don't remember. Say you can't say. That's better.
Yeah, that does sound cooler. Because it wasn't Rick Ross. That's who pops in my head. But I know Garrett Fisher was training him. But it was like a situation like that. And I was like, yeah, man, I'll go fucking train whoever, whatever the fuck. But even that, like my Reebok guys trust me and know me, and they know fitness, so they knew what I was doing. But in any other company, Nike's hiring coaches that are big on Instagram, not because they're good coaches. Like Reebok signed me when I had like 10,000 followers because they thought I was actually a good coach. Yeah. And then I just happened to grow with them as we grew. But like other companies are going to hire a coach for exposure of the sneaker, right? And then tie them up with a celebrity just because it's the homie deal. Oh, I have a Nike trainer. Oh, cool. It's all kind of business, really, is what it is.
Yeah. So one of the answers here is expanding audience.
Yeah, network and business. Yeah, like anything else. Yeah, how do you get sponsored by something? It's kind of like and I think smart athletes probably go about it differently, because they probably start with a really good manager, they start with a really good agent, and then they have they kind of analyze their steps. Jacob's a good example. He trained tons of pro athletes, baseball, NFL, and NBA out of Chicago, but then his full-time job was Luau Deng, who's an all-star in the NBA, Duke alumni. And Luau, after getting to know him as a friend and as like we talk business here and there, he's just analytical in his process. He hired a chef, and his chef with him everywhere. He hired a driver, he went with him everywhere, and he hired a trainer, and those were like his keystones of his career to keep him healthy and where he wanted to go. And he had already worked with Jacob at the gym where all these pro athletes went, and so he already got a vibe for him. It wasn't the homie hookup. So there's other instances too, and I think it's starting to switch. I think people training in general, or having a personal trainer as an athlete, is probably kind of new in the scheme of things. Yeah, like certain sports didn't even have strength and conditioning programs until now, let alone colleges, let alone ladies, all these things. So it's all kind of evolving, and I think it'll slowly continue to find, the cream does rise to the top eventually.
Kind of final point, other than the fact that I think that we leave this one in the in basket, and we may come back to it with guests.
Yeah.
But just because you saw somebody working with an influencer / coach on social media one time or two times doesn't mean they actually continue to work with them.
100%.
So it could be,
it's clout chasing collabs.
Collabs, social media, video opportunity or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's,
which kind of sucks too, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. They may be associated, that trainer might be associated with a product.
100 billion%.
Yeah. So any of that, maybe don't take it too terribly seriously because it may not mean anything at all. Let's wrap this one up.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3sb.co for all your apparel needs. Third Street Barbell if you're ever in Northern California. I'm Silent Mike. Everywhere you want to find me. We'll catch you every Wednesday and Friday.
I am at the Jim McDonald on all the social media. This show, 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. And you can throw a .com on the end of that and find our website, and we will talk to you next week. And I'm